2046では壮大なネットワークが地球上に広がっている。怪しげな列車が2046に向かって時々出発していく。2046へ行くすべての乗客の目的はただ一つ、なくした記憶を見つけるため。
This week on Create Consume Repeat, I take a look at 2046, a love letter to the art of science fiction writing and quite possibly the most underrated science fiction film ever made. When most people think of film trilogies, they immediately think of film classics like The Godfather, Star Wars, or Indiana Jones. But my mind often drifts toward the less mainstream, like Linklater's The Before Trilogy starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy.
Memory's a wonderful thing if you don't have to deal with the past.
Or Wong Kar Wai's Love Trilogy, which begins with the 1990 release of Days of Being Wild, followed up 10 years later with In the Mood for Love, arguably his magnum opus, and ending on the beautiful yet often overlooked 2046. For those not familiar with Wong Kar Wai, all you need to know is 1. His films explore themes of love, longing, and the burden of memory. 2. His style and filmmaking sensibilities have influenced a generation of filmmakers. Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation and even TV shows like Mad Men are proof. 3. He's won multiple awards, most notably Best Director at the 1997 Cannes Film Festival. One could even make the argument that he's in the rarefied company of other film greats like Jean-Luc Godard and David Lynch. Really, trust me on this one. 2046 takes place 3 years after In the Mood for Love in 1960s Hong Kong, with Chow Mo Wan, a journalist and writer, struggling to get over the emotional anguish and loss of his idealized love. Sad. He begins to write a sci-fi novel about a vast rail network that spans the globe and a mysterious high-tech train filled with passengers that all want to recapture lost memories. Their destination? 2046, a place where nothing ever changes. And as the movie unfolds, we quickly learn that Chow's novel isn't just a way to pay the bills, it's an outlet for his emotional anguish and a form of therapy filled with metaphors about longing for lost love, inescapable memories, and peppered with observations about his neighbors' personal lives. Now, if I go into any more detail, I risk spoiling the magic of 2046 and possibly the trilogy. Yet this video isn't about the film or the trilogy. It's a study of one writer's ability to transform emotional turmoil into fiction, but not just any fiction. I'm talking science fiction, and not your garden variety spoon-fed sci-fi. I'm talking sci-fi that has depth, nuance, and fosters audience discourse. Let me explain. Sure, you have films like Adaptation that comically deconstruct the writing process. Shakespeare in Love lets us watch the bard himself overcome writer's block.
Talk prose. Where is my play?
It is all locked safe in here.
God be praised.
Yet none of these examples show how a writer takes the precious nature of love, the pain of heartbreak, and the torment of longing and transform it into something abstract. So abstract, it's no longer recognizable, yet no less emotionally profound. And in the case of 2046, actually heighten those feelings.
誰がアンドロイドなんかに。
这个很难说，有很多事情要来的时候都是不知不觉的，有可能性ですよ。
Of course, some of you might take issue with my argument that most science fiction isn't nuanced or subtle, but barring a few standout Kubrick films, Twilight Zone, and Dark Mirror episodes, modern sci-fi is ham-fisted and spoon-fed to audiences. Take, for example, the theatrical release of Blade Runner and 12 Monkeys, two of my favorite science fiction films, each dealing with heavy topics like the philosophy of what is real and the concept of memory, time, and perception. Each film arguably the gold standard of sci-fi, yet even these films leave little room for interpretation due to the studio's meddling and a reliance on focus group testing. Don't believe me? Proof of this can be seen with the re-release of Blade Runner's director's cut, which added back key scenes Ridley Scott originally intended, but the studio stripped away, and the fact that 12 Monkeys is basically Americanization of La Jetée, well, I think that says a lot. Yes, Her is an interesting meditation on technology as an accelerator of social loneliness. But in my humble opinion, it's a hollow one-note short story that never realizes its full potential.
Well, I take it from your tone that you're challenging me.
And hey, look, we don't have to agree, but watch 2046 first and then drop a comment in the section below.
Release the Kraken.
And for those trolls that think I'm shitting all over science fiction films, I'm not. I love sci-fi, but as an art form, it needs to continue to push beyond one-dimensional observations about society and technology. There's a reason 2001: Space Odyssey, the director's cut of Blade Runner, Children of Men, Gattaca, and Ghost in a Shell, to name a few, have endured the test of time. They confront us with questions that have no easy answers, no tidy endings. They transcend entertainment because they are works of art. Love it, hate it. Let me know in the comment section below. As you can tell, I appreciate discourse, as long as it remains civil. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you really like the content on this channel, tell your friends. Tell your friends' friends. I'd appreciate it. Bye.